Okay, so this is homework number 14, and the first problem that we're gonna do is number 4. It's a word problem, and it says you receive $8 for raking leaves for 2 hours. What is your hourly wage? So you're receiving $8 for raking leaves, right? That's the total amount that you get. But you got these $8 only for working how many hours? 2. So how can I find out my hourly wage? Take a moment to think about it. I'm thinking we can divide, right? Let's give it a try. We can do 8 divided by how many hours are we working? 2, right? 2, and that'll give us 4. So that means that this person is earning $4 per hour. And if we check our math, it makes sense because this person is working 2 hours, right? So 1 hour is $4, right? Plus another hour, that makes another $4, and together this makes $8. And this is actually the same as this number, so it makes sense. Now the next problem. Number 5. Music lessons cost $20 per week. How much do 6-week lessons cost? Well, for this one, we're going to be multiplying, right? Because if you earn $20 per week, I mean the lessons cost $20 per week, right? And you want to find out how much 6-week lessons cost, then you're going to multiply by the 6 weeks, because each week is $20. That means that 1 week is $20, right? But we're trying to find out how many would it be for 6 weeks. So therefore we multiply because we want to find out 6 weeks. And that would give us 0. And then 2 times 6 is 12. So that's a total of $120. That's a little bit pricey. And then the next problem is number 6. And number 6 says, the scores on your first 2 history tests were 82 and 95. By how many points did you improve on your second test? Well, let's see. The highest score was what? 95? And the second score is 82. Okay. But obviously this number is bigger than this score. 95 is bigger than 82. So if we want to check how much more did we earn in the other exam, which is bigger, we would subtract, right? 95 minus 82, which gives us 5 minus 2 is 3. 9 minus 8 is 1. So by 13, what? Points. The following problem is, you buy a hat for $12 and give the cashier a $20 bill. How much change do you receive? Well, you're giving her $20, right? That's a big bill. But the hat cost how many? $12. So therefore you would subtract, because you're giving her a larger bill and your total is less. So you want to see how much you're going to get after. So 20 minus 12 is $8. We would borrow 1 from the 2, right? Because we have 0, so we can't take anything out of there. And then that would become 10 because we just borrowed 1 from the 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we don't bring that 0 down, and it's $8 that she would get back, right? Okay, so now we're done with the word column. That was number 7, and we're going to move on to numbers 8 through 10. Oh, sorry. Okay, number 8 through 10. So for number 8, it says, identify the terms, coefficients, and constants. So let's review a little bit what terms are, what coefficients are, and constants. So terms are usually numbers or variables that are separated by addition and subtraction signs. Coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variables. So these are terms, right? But it needs to have a variable in order for it to be a coefficient. But the coefficient is a number right in front of that variable. And for constants, these are just, you can think about it as just numbers that don't have variables. So you'll get a hang of it once we continue. So the first problem is 7h plus 3. So first, let's go ahead and identify the terms. So remember I said that they're separated by addition and subtraction signs? Well, you see two things here being separated by what? An addition sign. So guess what? We have two terms here. We have 7h being one term, and then 3 being another term. Now we can move on to coefficients. So coefficients must come with a variable. So 3, I don't see it has a variable, but 7h, we see something with a variable. So we have 7h, right? But here, the coefficient is a number in front of that variable. So it would be 7. 7 is a coefficient. And then constants, remember these are just solid numbers without variables. So in here, number 3 would be the constant. Okay. So now we have terms, coefficients, and constants. The terms in this problem were 7h and 3, right? Because they're separated by an addition sign. The coefficient here is 7 of 7h, right? So the coefficient is 7. And the constant is 3, the only number in there without a variable. Moving on to number 9. Now we see 3 things that are separated by an addition sign, right? So G, 12, and 9G. So these 3 are terms. So G is one term, 12 is another term, and then 9G is another term. Now coefficients. Well, I see two terms, right, that have a variable. G, 9G, and G, right? This one doesn't have a variable, so therefore we can't consider it part of a coefficient. So 9G, we're going to write down 9G and G. Now the coefficient for 9G would be 9. 9 is a coefficient. And then for G, we don't see anything there, but it represents a 1. So we'll say 1 is a coefficient of G. And then do we have any numbers in there without variables? Yes, we have 12. So 12 would be our constant. So we have identified the terms, the coefficients, and the constants in this expression.